Let me just say trigger warning, trigger warning. Okay. We got a therapist over here thinking that he can get away with some ish. I'm not sure if he's been watching Tubi originals, Lifetime movies, but we're going to have to get into this therapist trying to do the most to his clients. And are all therapists very ethical? I don't think so. Make sure y'all hit that like, that subscribe, leave me a super chat, buy me a little, something to drink in the morning or after clients. Okay. Now, can y'all believe it? Have y'all heard this story? Let's get into it. Houston-based therapist Thaddeus Tober has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and burglary. A Houston, let me say that out loud, Houston therapist has been charged with assault after becoming violent with a client he was having an extramarital affair with when she tried to end things. Now, y'all heard that right? A therapist having an affair, and oh, you want to break it off with me? No, 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 no. So we don't have to get into all things now. I don't believe that this is the first time this situation has happened with this person. I think that this man has a legal and probably violent past, maybe not legal. He's probably gotten away with it for a long time. But this time, a therapist having an affair with a client, they always tell us, do no harm, ethics. We even have a little brochure pamphlet that we're supposed to give our clients that says in bold, therapy should never involve sex. Now, I've heard multiple reports. There's been some things saying that he was the child's therapist. There have been other things saying that he was her therapist. It's all wrong, y'all. It's all wrong. Whether he was a kid, whether he was a mama therapist, but apparently he's been charged with aggravated assaults. Tober and Scales met for the first time when she began with his therapy services in October of 2023. He slowly became closer, escalating to giving one another hugs after sessions. See, that's why this makes therapists like me, it doesn't help us because I'm not the most by the book therapist. When a client is healing or dealing with something, I might give them a hug. I might decide, okay, you just need a little bit of comfort. And clients come and they want to hug me. Thank you for helping me. You've helped me overcome so much. I really appreciate you. But now it's like, do we have to pull back on the hugs? And there are going to be some therapists who say you shouldn't be giving physical contact to a client anyway. But I do believe there are times where clients need physical comfort with permission about a therapist going and talking to them, maybe providing them with a hug. I want to know your thoughts about the whole hugging thing. Where we at? They slowly became closer, giving each other hugs, good morning text. Okay, in the court documents. In March, Tober and Scales became seemingly romantic with one another. Okay, he didn't wait long. The relationship ended in April when Stacks learned that Tober was already married. Now, that's the part I had not heard before, that he was already married. So now I'm wondering, how did she not know he was married? But then again, once again, going back to our law and ethics of being a therapist, we're not supposed to share things about our personal lives. We're supposed to be a blank slate. You come in, I hold space for you, and you leave. But for me, my clients who know that I'm married, I don't see the big deal about it. In this case, if he was working with a child, I could see how that number came up, but he was married and he already got kids. Damn. Okay, she said that when she attempted to end the relationship, he drew a boop boop on her and began to scream at him for wanting to leave. So not only do you have a wife and a child, you try and have your cake and eat it too. And then when the extra person, the side piece, decides, I want to walk away from this, I don't want this anymore, she's not allowed to leave. The power dynamic here. I think he used manipulation, her vulnerability, whatever state of mind that she was in when she first came into him, to manipulate her. And this is not the first time I've heard a story about a therapist manipulating their client. I've watched some 48 Hours episodes where therapists were manipulating their client to do hits on their spouses. So it shows you how sometimes you might have to do a little bit more due diligence with finding a therapist and a little bit more research. And doesn't mean that therapists have to be a lot stricter on our boundaries, information that we give, physical touch. Because, wow, I did not know that he had a wife. Okay. Scales recalled he was sitting on the couch and I was sitting on his desk. Girl, not the desk. and we were talking. I just said, hey, I don't want to continue this. And he snapped. According to court documents, he let her go after another patient knocked on the door to his office. After Scales left the building and returned home with her child, he was waiting for her at her house. So she tells you she wants to end things and she leaves. You go and see another client. So you were not even paying attention to what that client was saying. In your mind, you were like, okay, I'm going to go get her after this. Wrong on so many levels. He was in her driveway. According to Scales, he blocked her car with his own and followed her inside her home. She begged to leave, but he refused and allegedly turned violent. She claimed he forcefully kissed her, choked her, and hit her, and then pulled the pew pew out of his hand. Now, I'm not going to read the rest because it's a whole trigger warning and I don't want to already traumatize people. I'm not going to read the details of what happened in that apartment. Okay. She has excessive injuries. I feel embarrassed. I have to do something that I feel embarrassed as I am. I have to do something because I could have died in there with my child. The child was there too. Oh, something is wrong with him. Looking back on the relationship, says she believes that child wanted to manipulate her. Yes, from the beginning of their relationship. She said, I got out of a very toxic and traumatic relationship. See, I told y'all, which I had to express to him as my therapist. See, it says my therapist, the reason why I was in therapy. So it sounds like he really was her therapist, not her child's. And I felt like he used everything I told him that I went through. He weaponized her pain. Tober is still maintaining his innocence and has been a therapist at, I'm not going to say that, I guess I should, Discerning Minds Consulting, Discerning Minds for 8 years. Now, at the time of this article, of this all going on, he still has his license. But for me as a therapist, I'm like, see, this is what happens when the power dynamic shifts. We're supposed to be powering within our clients, not having power with over them. And he weaponized her pain, her hurt, what she was going through. In his mind, I think he saw a lick. He saw, okay, I can get this one. I really do believe that he's had other relationships with other clients, but then this time he just got caught because his rage got the best of him. Okay, and I feel bad for her as a client because one, you already been through a traumatic relationships. You trusted this man to help you. He played on your weakness. Will you ever go to therapy again? Will you ever trust another man again? Because you put so much trust into this person to help you heal from some things and he used it against you. So it just there's just a ripple effect. Not only for this one, but other people reading this article who might have a male therapist or who have thought about having a male therapist as a woman or someone who identifies as femme. You have to do a little bit more research and ask certain questions when you are having a male therapist. And I'm not saying this is all males, but it already adds to this schema that women, people have against men. And sometimes you have to ask questions. What do you think about some of the things happening with women's reproductive rights? What do you think about the current, patriarchy of women and men? Okay. What are your beliefs about maybe marriage? And I know some of these questions might be a little bit more personable, but you have to, I think, also feel like, okay, this is somebody who believes in the same things I do. And we do live in a very political time. But now it's like, okay, these are probably questions you need to add when you are doing those consultation calls and trying to figure out if this therapist is the right therapist for you. I hope that she gets some healing. I hope that she does not give up on therapy. And we saw, was it a year ago, 2 years ago, a therapist said how she will never work with male clients. And there was all this blowback from that. And now we have this situation coming up. It's not a good look for us. It's not. Okay. And I'm wondering also about his wife and child and the things that they have probably gone through. And it lets you know, not making excuses for him at all, but therapists are humans. Sometimes people put us on a pedestal and put us up here when we are on the same level sometimes with you guys coming to us for help. And just like we help you guys, sometimes we need our own help. And sometimes we're going home into situations. I've heard therapists being in IPV relationship, intimate partner violence, in their own relationship at home, but still helping other clients. But it just lets you know that you have to do a little bit more time researching. It's too much. It is too much. We're trying to break the stigma on mental health. We're trying to get Black people to attend therapy more often, to believe in therapy. And then you have this situation that's just like, damn, like, how am I going to help people come into therapy when there's people out there taking advantage of people? You're not helping me break the stigma. You're only making it worse for me and other therapists who are trying to get people to come in and get help. This is not the example that someone who is already against therapy or skeptical needs to hear, read. But I hope he does actually get some time, because what he did was incredibly abusive, weaponizing, manipulative. And I want to know, how is it that there are so many different things, but one thing that really bugs me is that she told him that she wanted to end things. And I'm sure he had to be heated, upset, but he still saw another client after that. And then once he was done with that client, he zoom over there to be in her driveway. That's just like on another level to me. Okay. And I'm sure he maybe had other clients the rest of the day that he canceled or rescheduled so he can go over there. This is just a crazy story. I need to know you guys' thoughts and opinions. Therapists out there, law, ethics do no harm. Our ethics, our standards, what we believe in, we have to stop thinking that, not we, because this ain't me, but therapists have to stop thinking that they're the almighty and powerful, that they won't get caught up, because you're hurting a lot of people that you see who are watching this, who see this, and who want to get help and go to therapy. But I want to know your thoughts. I want to know. If you got this far in the video, make sure you like, you subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.